What a world we live in. Those of us who have faith are saying we look and make sense of what's going on because the Bible told us that Jesus Christ is coming back to rescue mankind from themselves. And that will seem to be happening sometime soon. Why do I say that? What's so different about these days? Well, I look at the way that people have changed. People have changed in so many ways, and it's not just a change in a small locality or a despot here or there. It's a change that's worldwide. It's taken place worldwide. I'm sure that we are suffering from a generation that have been loaded with toxic fluoride for 40 years in their drinking water. They've been loaded with aluminium and strontium and other toxic chemicals because of the weather manipulation and the spraying of the upper atmosphere that just rains toxic chemicals down on us every day. We're changed because the end result, especially our children, our grandchildren, are the end result of decades of immunisation. And there is so much evidence to say that the dramatic increase in autism and in narcissism and all sorts of behavioural problems is just exponentially accelerated because of all the toxins that have been put into human beings through immunisation. And then on top of that, we've got a generation that have been brought up on iPhones. All the children have got their iPhones. All the young people have got their iPhones. And it's causing brain atrophy because they no longer reason, no longer think for themselves. They just see what comes up on the screen and they only have a quick flick past it as it is and don't think through anything properly. We're also seeing in the last decade, or especially in the last 12 months, a worldwide stupidity that's come across. Who would have thought that the whole world would go mad over toilet paper in response to a pandemic? Who would have thought that the nations would basically bankrupt their own countries because they're afraid of a flu bug? Even if it was a nasty flu bug, we've been through nasty flu bugs before, and the evidence is now coming out that not many more people are dying than what would have died from the flu anyway. This stupidity is reflected in the BLM marches, where worldwide protests are starting up about inequality, and it's just a reason for people to get out and say, I want more out of life and I'm going to persecute all the people who are better off than me. And they don't even think for a moment that it's partly because of generations of selfishness on behalf of their own families and their own races. This reason that Jesus seems to be coming home, bringing us home soon, is just so pivotal on the fact that never before in all history, except before the flood of Noah's time, has the whole world been in such a state where God would be disgusted. He's disgusted at the political agenda where people are scrambling to get a control system that controls everybody over the whole world. He's disgusted because in many countries they say Black Lives Matter, unless you're in Africa, of course, and there are thousands of people being murdered by black people in South Africa, Islam against Christianity, and there's not a word about it in the media. God's disgusted because of the moral decline, when they say lives matter, but if you haven't yet been born, your life doesn't matter, it's been extinguished by the thousands. They say the church is supposed to be a light to the world and a lamp to our path, but the church has gone to sleep. All the churches around here, and probably right across many countries, are closed. They say, yes, you can go back to the football. Yes, you can go to a club, or you can go to a pub. You can have gatherings of up to 100 people, but churches, no, they won't do a thing. And this is distressing. It's distressing to my heart. And I just see that God is going to rescue us out of this troubling world before his judgment falls. It's surely got to fall soon.